the terrible deal Aisha got. So imagine this young lady growing up in pre-Islamic Arabia if she grew up at a time other than when Muhammad was there. Imagine she was Khadija, or imagine she was, for example, Hind, the future wife of Abu Sufyan. Look at the life she would have had, having only one husband and, growing up and, even being able to inherit and other things that Islam would have taken away the rights from her. Now, this young girl, no matter how young she was, Muslims will say she was 6 when she got married, and some Muslims would disagree with that and say, well, that's not true. She was actually older. She was probably a teen. No matter how old she was quite young. The hadith says that she was playing with dolls, and her dolls were taken away to prepare her for the marriage. Now, this young girl, what kind of life did she have with Muhammad? She had a life where she had to compete with 8 other wives. This means she would sleep with Muhammad. This means she only got to sleep with Muhammad once every 9 nights. Whenever they went on a trip, they picked lots to decide who got to travel with him. So imagine all of this competition, all of this time sharing between so many other men. Compare that to what she would have got if she was just a regular woman living in a society. Even a Muslim woman had better benefits. At maximum, he could have 3 other co-wives. But in her case, she had to compete with 8 other women. Whenever Muhammad would see someone that was attractive to him, she would worry. It says in the hadith that when it came to Juwayriya, the slave woman, when she saw her, I disliked her entering the place of the Messenger of Allah, for I knew that he would see what I saw in her. So she noticed this lady was young and attractive, and she knew Muhammad would like her. And so that became another wife of his. Same thing with Zainab. Zainab was another attractive young woman who, when Muhammad started liking her, she divorced Zayd, right? And his cousin Zainab, his daughter-in-law from his adopted son, became his wife. Another co-wife to compete with for Aisha. So already this is far from ideal, even compared to what other Muslim women had to go through. One Muslim on Twitter said, but we get half a deen from Aisha. So basically, the fact that, she narrated so many sayings of Muhammad somehow makes up for the fact that women have, this terrible rules under Islam, that they inherit less under, most situations, that women are not able to divorce, unlike men who can just say talaq, wait the waiting period, and then the divorce is over. Or if they say it 3 times with the waiting periods in between, the divorce is irrevocable. Women cannot do this. Women even have to give back the mahar in some cases, the wedding gift, right? The dowry. So the rules of Islam are very unfair when it comes to men and women. They're made for a time and place that, maybe for some reason it might have made sense in some cases, some of these rules, but they surely do not make sense in the modern times. Now, without getting too much into why Islam is bad for women, let's get back to Aisha, the favorite child bride of Muhammad. Muhammad definitely loved her more than other wives. Did she have the ability to leave this relationship? Well, apparently, Allah had to threaten all of Muhammad's wives. It says in the Quran, O Prophet, say to your wives, if you should desire the worldly life and its adornment, then come, I will provide for you and give you a gracious release. O wives of the Prophet, whoever of you should commit a clear immorality, for her the punishment will be doubled, twofold, and easy, and that is ever for Allah easy. So it's threatening them, don't you dare cheat on Muhammad. He was very jealous and insecure, it seemed. Don't you dare cheat on him. Allah will give you double the punishment. Despite you're a believing Muslim woman, you're going to get double the punishment because your husband is more important. He was so worried about his wives cheating on him that he had to make this threat in the Quran, right? Or Allah made this threat. So, and then it's saying that, I'll let you go. Would a woman at that time, living in that era, be able to divorce the most powerful man in Arabia? Would she be able to live in Medina after the Prophet divorced her? Would she be able to really take this, deal? Or was this deal just for show? Was it really possible for a woman to divorce Muhammad? I don't think so. What would her life have been like? She would have lived in shame for the rest of her life. What if she wanted to leave Islam? Could a woman in that era living in Medina leave Islam? Definitely not. Even if she knew Muhammad was not a true prophet, she would have had a massive struggle leaving Medina, going either to the Romans or going on a ship to Abyssinia, and then not being able to speak the language, not having anyone to negotiate for her. It would be damn difficult for this young Arab woman not to end up as a slave under some other captive by another Arab or non-Arab man. So clearly, it wasn't like she's going to get alimony, right? The options for her are limited. Just to add a little bit salt to her wounds, when Muhammad died, Aisha was never allowed to get married again. She had to be celibate for the rest of her life. Muhammad decided, or Allah decided, that his wives may never ever get married again because they're special. You see, Muhammad was so intensely jealous that he didn't even want his wives to have sex after he died. What was he so insecure about? Did he maybe think that they would actually have a better sex life after he died? I don't know what he was so worried about. I mean, he had the virility of 10 men, supposedly. Whatever the case was, Aisha, from a young age, or however old she was, whether she was 18 or 21, in her early 20s at best, had to live her entire rest of her life celibate, never able to enjoy a healthy sexual relationship with another man. Who would want to go through that? What a sacrifice she had to make. And she had no choice in this matter. She was told, you may never marry again. Neither you nor any of your co-wives, any of the wives of Muhammad, may never ever have a healthy relationship, may never ever live with a man, may never have any companionship after this day once Muhammad died. What an unfortunate situation for all of those women, Aisha included. So you see, Aisha may have spoke favorably about Muhammad, but really, what choice did she have? It was in her best interest to do what she could based on the situation that she found herself in. To be his favorite wife is better than not being his wife, I guess. To use his name to get benefits and to get respect in the community is better, right? Even though there were still conflicts after she died as to whether she should inherit from him. Thanks for watching. Check out my video, Would You Marry Your Adopted Son's Ex-Wife, for an animated feature of how Muhammad married another woman who he fancied and how this is so similar to cult leaders. You can also check out my longer analysis on the Zainab issue as well, if you like. Stay tuned for more such videos on Islam.